Welcome to Riot Fest weekend. I'm James Van Ostel. This is Con Carne. Con Carne, presented by Alex Ross Art. Alex Ross, legendary comic book, graphic novel creator, and he has a pretty cool YouTube channel, and here's Alex to tell you about that.
Hi, this is Alex Ross. I appreciate you guys supporting our YouTube, and we create new content every week. I hope you will continue to support us, and please subscribe.
Con Carne also brought to you by a book called 90 Days in the 90s. It is a trip back in time to the 1990s in Chicago. It's written by my friend, Andy Fry, and he will be, along with his book, at Loud Pizza Records in Highland Park. That is happening on Sunday, October 1st, so you can get a signed copy, take the gray line back to the 1990s, and relive all the music, moments, and pop culture as Darby, the lead character, who owns a record store, goes back to Chicago during those amazing days. What bands does she see? What clubs does she go to? Relive it all. Get the book in person on October 1st at Loud Pizza in Highland Park. Con Carne also sponsored by Easy Automation, easy-automation.net. Are you a homeowner? Are you ready for a truly smart home? Does the idea of minimizing your energy usage while maximizing your comfort sound good? The answer is yes. Easy Automation will help you find a customized solution that is right for you. Their team has more than 30 years of collective experience in the industry and will tailor a service package that fits your lifestyle and needs. Doesn't hurt just to get a quote. Find out more. Go to easy-automation.net or call 630-730-3728, 630-730-3728. We are backstage with Screaming Females. Thanks for jumping on today.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start with the Alaska documentary, which just was released. Like, of all the ways to document a band, you all touring Alaska, that was kind of a cool approach.
Yeah, it was amazing. We've been a band for 18 years. We put out a new record in February and got the opportunity to go play Alaska, which is the 50th state for us to play. And it was a really unique trip because rather than just going and playing Anchorage, which some bands do, if they do have the opportunity to go up there, we got to do a full tour of the state and play 6 shows.
Now, I know you're used to New Jersey cold. Was Alaska cold something of a different...
It was actually quite balmy while we were there. It was got up to like 35 degrees. They were like, if you were here last week, it was negative 20. So
yeah, any average Chicagoan would be fine in Alaska.
Yeah, I think so.
Fair. So Desire Pathway is the new one. 5 years in between records. A lot of the stuff was ready to go for a while, right? Had you been sitting on this?
Correct. Guess why?
Was it that pandemic I heard so much about?
Correct. You're so smart.
The first single, Brass Bell, this just lets us know, make no mistake, Screaming Females is a guitar band. Like, right out of the gate, we are clear of your mission statement. Tell me a little bit about that song.
I don't remember writing that song at all.
I remember a clear inspiration for that song.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that.
I went to a show in Philly at a venue that's this kind of like, maybe it's a real bar or maybe it's just somebody's basement in West Philly, and usually they run punk shows there, but it was a singer-songwriter show, and the person playing had a really great voice, just guitar and vocals, and they started doing this strumming pattern that I was like, I have to remember this. It's like a really interesting pattern because it sounds almost like it's an odd time signature, but it's actually still just common time. And I was like, let me remember that. And I wrote it down on my phone, brought it to band practice, and it turned into one of the heaviest songs we ever wrote. Not copying the riff because I couldn't remember the riff, just the rhythm of it.
And the lesson here, there's no telling when inspiration will hit.
Exactly. That's why you got to be able to notate a rhythm in your notes app in your phone.
Exactly.
You have to do it in your notes app.
Only notes.
Don't do it any other way.
You can't handwrite it.
Don't write it down.
Right.
Not Android, Apple product.
That's right.
Notes app.
Do you have more songs stockpiled than what ended up on this album? Are you sitting on like a treasure trove of Screaming Females?
No, we never are. Historically, we usually put out everything that we have written up to until the date. But yeah, we always have like little ideas kicking around, but there's no treasure trove of unreleased music.
For all the years you've been together as a band, is it easier to come together and write songs now, or do Do you butt heads a lot? Like, are you in your groove?
I mean, writing songs is hard in general. I think it's always been hard. There are like really rare occasions when it's like super easy and it just like all comes together magically. It's probably happened like 3 times. I think that we all really enjoy playing music and writing music, but we also understand that it's hard work. So,
can we backtrack?
Yeah.
And talk about Hopeless real quick?
Sure.
I mean, obviously it's a favorite song. It's a slow burner. Tell me your relationship with that song years later.
Well, I brought that song as like a demo to band practice, and it was just like me and acoustic guitar, and then we kind of like worked on the arrangement together. Yeah, I don't know.
It's still such a powerful
My
song.
relationship with it, I think it's a pretty dang good song. I'm proud of it.
Dang good song.
I think we did a nice job.
We're sitting here in Douglas Park in Chicago. Obviously, you have some love for Chicago. I mean, you recorded a live album here at the Hideout. Tell me about Chicago and Screaming Females.
When we first started touring, we played a lot of DIY shows, a lot of houses, info shops, cafes, whatever we could find to play. Kind of standard venues. It was like years before we were really playing them regularly. And early on, Chicago was a place where we could play a bunch of shows in the area on a tour. So we would go and play DeKalb and Wonder Lake and where the heck
Elgin.
else were we going?
Elgin.
All these places around the area, and
Lombard.
yeah. So we ended up just playing a million spots around Chicago. So we'd end up spending, 4 or 5 days bouncing around, staying in Chicago. So it started to feel like a place where we actually knew some people and had some connection to it. As with everything else, since the pandemic, it's been a little bit of time since we've had a moment here. So today's kind of the first time we've had to really walk around Chicago in years, probably.
And let's be clear, this is a special day. It's gorgeous out. Like, people are ready for you. By the time you do your thing, people will be ready.
I hope so. But can they ever truly be ready?
Desired Pathway is the new album. Screaming Females, thank you for chatting.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.